Hello, this is an introductory video about my channel. It will initially be devoted to my 34-year marriage to my Thai wife, who shocked me with a divorce 9 months ago, how I recovered, how I continue to recover, how I eventually plan to not give up on Thailand, but to hopefully find another Thai partner and eventually retire in Thailand. Where in Thailand, I don't know, but that's in part what this channel will be about. Hello, this is an introduction video. I will talk about a little bit more detail what happened with my marriage and wife and kind of lay the groundwork for the future. So you can decide if you want to follow this channel and its content or not. I plan to make it periodically from now until I retire in Thailand, and hopefully beyond retirement, and that will be several years down the road. Hopefully I will retire within currently a 4 to 8 year time frame. I'd like to save some more money because this divorce, I plan on losing half of everything. So anyhow, like I mentioned in the introduction, I was married 44 years. Since an undergraduate at college at Ohio State University, as a young person out of high school, I noticed a Thai lady. She'd eat in the cafeteria where I ate quite often. She was quiet, small, like a lot of Asians, I guess, are kind of quiet from Thailand, but very well mannered and very well spoken. So I got to know her. Her name was Kanya, and we became friends. And eventually I went to Thailand for the first time. She helped me arrive at a hotel, show me around Bangkok, and make my first visit to Thailand a good experience. She was married to her husband and worked with the king of Thailand, and that's why she was at Ohio State studying a PhD in agriculture to help Thai farmers grow better crops. So after college, I joined the Navy and went to the Philippines, partly to be in Southeast Asia, see more of Southeast Asia, and maybe go to Thailand. In the Philippines, I met my wife, and we dated about a year. She was in the Philippines visiting her cousin, so we dated about a year and eventually had a Philippine legal marriage and a Thai marriage with the Buddhist monks in the tradition. After that, I thought our marriage was fine. Everything, normal. Within our first few weeks of marriage, we had an argument where she hopped on the naval bus and went to the housing area back to her her cousin she was staying with when she finished college to visit Subic Bay and husband shop. I was kind of wife shopping, so it worked out. So that's why, we eventually got married. But that should have been an indicator there. When she has a problem, her habit seems to have always been to run away or write notes that she's threatening and commit suicide, which was scary at first, but it became a periodic thing every few years. I didn't think a whole lot of it. But anyhow, it took 33 years for her to decide, I guess she didn't want to be married anymore, even after raising her son, who turned down Harvard and eventually went to West Point. Very smart boy. I might talk about being a father to him in the future and some of the techniques and things I would use being a father, and never pushing him, hopefully never yelling at him. At least not much. It wasn't a good thing or a strategy. I read a lot of books on how to be a parent. But anyhow, we had a good son. And then she, like I mentioned in the introduction, she surprised me, wanted my son to drive her to the airport to Cleveland, and she flew to Georgia and essentially never came back. Well, she did come back while I was in the hospital a week later and cleaned out all her stuff, and she took everything. There is nothing she needs to come back for. The stuff she left was junk that you wouldn't want to take with you anyhow. Not only that, she cleaned out all of my son's stuff, but I'll get into those details later. But anyhow, the purpose of this video is an introduction. So I was very depressed, and I talk about that more in another video, for a couple months. I eventually flew to Thailand because I'm not giving up on Thailand, and I simply needed a reason to live again. And I found that 2 months after the divorce, and I was actually physically functioning again, rather than sitting on the sofa being incredibly depressed and drinking every day. So I eventually started to get over that, went to Thailand, had a wonderful trip to Chiang Rai. I had never been to Chiang Rai. I had been to Chiang Mai, and I wanted to see northern Thailand, so I met a friend online, Tiki, a really nice lady. I still don't know exactly what her whole story was, but anyhow, we had a wonderful few days in Chiang Rai before I had to return back home. I was put on suspension because of my work wasn't good because of the divorce, and I was just in a bad mental shape. So I came back, worked some more, eventually lost my job, and am looking for work full-time right now. The phone's ringing quite a bit. Started to talk to recruiters and do interviews, so hopefully by the end of the year I will have a job. So my plan is, I've talked to another Thai person, and I've read and studied everything I can about Thai culture and Thai people and Thai marriage and why people want to get married, and watched a lot of YouTube videos, primarily one with Thai Talk by Dan, Ricky and Isan, and a couple other, Bariram and other Isan provinces have some foreigners living there now, and they go through their story on how they moved to Thailand, how they built a house, how they adjusted, how they're doing, and after several years, how they like it. Some or a few have returned back to their home countries. Some are as happy as can be to be there forever. A lot like the countryside, some like the cities. But I'm learning as much as I can because I eventually do hope to save money, hopefully keep this house here, and pay my wife her 50% share from our other assets. I'll eventually take that money and live in Thailand for a year and eventually build a house and hopefully have a happy life after that. My money would go a lot farther in Thailand, especially now considering I'm going to lose half of it, basically. The divorce has been rough. My lawyer is not exactly ideal in my mind, but I'm working with that, and if I have to appeal this thing, I will. I'm not sure how many details to put into an introduction, but that's kind of the level I'll provide for right now. So I plan to learn and digest as much as I can, study, learn Thai. I read and write, speak Thai fairly well at an intermediate level, I would say. Maybe a solid intermediate level. I understand quite a bit of Thai and get around quite fine. I do get lost in some conversations, but common everyday things that are repeated, I understand pretty much all of it. I wished I had better relationships with my friend in Chiang Rai. She was an awesome person, but I'll do a video on her. But I was not in a good mental state when I visited her. She convinced me that there's a lot to live for and I can love another person again. But I was not in a great mental state, and she could see that, so I'm disappointed about that. But I've met someone else really nice, and we get along fine, so I look forward to growing with her. She's been very supportive, and I really, really appreciate that. I think I know as much about her as I have anyone, especially getting to know each other over the WhatsApp, the internet. We even watch each other sleep. I mean, we talk every day. We spent hundreds or thousands and thousands of hours together, sometimes doing nothing, and sometimes talking. Her English is quite good, so that helps. And she's teaching me some of the local language of her province, so that's fun and interesting to learn. So that's helped me out the last 9 months, and going forward, I definitely want to work, start saving money if I can, pay off equity on loans that I need to pay for, and finish paying for the car and house, things like that. And then save for retirement and eventually go to Thailand, maybe sell everything. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I want to definitely do that. Because I definitely want to go to Thailand. I'm not sure how quickly I would sell everything. Probably fairly quickly, but I may spend some time there first, come back, and then finish liquidating everything. I don't know. I have to explore this in the future, and that's, again, the purpose of this channel, to kind of walk through it with anyone that wants to assist me, and for me to learn as I go along and provide maybe somewhat of a blueprint for someone else that might be doing what I'm doing one day, or maybe married to a Thai woman for 33 years or so, or decades, that just vanishes on them basically overnight. And with the restraining order, I haven't said a word to her in a little over 10 months now, so it's been bizarre. So I don't really know what to say about that. So, and then I hope to retire in Thailand and keep the channel, keep the YouTube content flowing. I find it interesting, looking at other people's lives and what they have to say and learn from them. It seems to be a great learning tool, and of course, get subscribers and maybe make a little bit of money as a side thing. I'm not going to depend on that, but in Thailand, even a little bit would go a long way. So eventually down the road, maybe in years, that would be great. It's going to be a little hard to produce content as interesting as in Thailand until I am permanently retired there, or when I make a yearly trip, hopefully, or something like that. So that's that. Maybe I can have a future partner video material for me, email it to me. Maybe we could work together to edit it and contribute together for my channel. I don't know. But I plan to travel that road definitely and learn as I go along, and hopefully not get burned again and make any critical mistakes. I have a lot of ideas why my wife acted the way she did. It's too long to go into them here, but I will definitely talk about that in the future. There's definitely some cultural differences that I didn't quite understand or see, so that could be some possibilities why she just vanished. She left notes along the way. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but they were just spread out all over the house, stuck in calendars and notebooks as she went through life. I don't think she planned to leave them for me, but she might have. I don't know. It could be. She never worked. She was home all day, so she had plenty of time to do what she wanted. Never hit her, never slapped her. Anyhow, that's for another story. Anyhow, thank you for viewing, and hopefully you find this interesting enough. And I will get better at producing content and videos and graphics and sound and all of that. Thanks for listening to the introduction, and hopefully we'll get to know each other and talk along the way and down the road and for many years. Take care. Bye-bye.